welcome to day 2 of Rapid Plus TCT. I'm here with Lauralyn McDaniel of Metrix, an ASME company, and we're going to just catch up. We go back a long way.
Definitely a long time.
So we've been on a lot of calls together over the last couple of months. Well, last couple of years now. It is.
Absolutely.
It seems like. What's new? What's the most exciting thing going on in your world today?
Most exciting? Well, before I get to the most exciting, let's talk about the regular exciting.
Okay.
The development of standards for additive manufacturing. That's definitely an area where we've worked together on. I've been involved with the Additive Manufacturing Standardization Collaborative. Heck, that's a long title. Since the very beginning, and it's still active. AMSC, American Makes, and ANSI. It's a great tool for people, so I'm always updating and making sure our ASME team is involved and adding all the new things that they're doing, including some new work groups on simulation for additive manufacturing, as well as focusing more on the area of polymers. So much work has been focused on the use of metals that the polymers are kind of off to the side, and they're still the biggest material used. We took a look at sales of polymers machines, and in 2020, polymer machines sold more, 850% more than metal machines were sold. And that's from the Wohlers report.
Wow.
So, surprising.
I should have probably known that, but that's good info.
It's kind of quiet out there, but it's how it started. It's still very strong, and it's still growing. So that's kind of an exciting thing.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think you've been very engaged, like you said, in AMSC really from the very beginning. You know, for the first couple of rounds and the first workshops that we put together, and then the roadmaps, and I think really you spearheaded some of the activity, in particular in some areas where there wasn't as much concentration. So we brought together lots of people, but I think even back in 2018 when we did the 2.0, version 2.0, polymers was identified kind of back then. Medical, you kind of led that group. So anything interesting going on? I know there's plenty of interesting things going on, but what's the latest in AM medical standard space?
In the standard space, well, I'm also a member of ASTM 42, so I kind of work both angles of it. And so about a year and a half ago, they started a medical applications subcommittee, and that is led by Rod McMillan and Matthew DePrima at the FDA.
Perfect.
And they're getting close to having some things go to ballot, which means it starts to get out in front of people. But it's really great to see this group focused on medical, focusing on the things that are unique to medical. I remember even working with the AMSC and some of the aerospace people thinking they knew what medical needed, and it is very different. You know?
I think we all learned that about 18 months ago.
Exactly.
Very quickly.
Yes. So it's just because you can print it doesn't mean you necessarily should, and you know all the information to make it successful.
Yep.
The regulatory requirements, the safety of patients, it's just different. And so understanding that and understanding your boundaries, absolutely can do that. So, and that has kind of led to some quiet areas that the medical community has been looking for a long time, starting to come to the forefront. So the 3D printing of silicone. You know, it's been in pockets, but in the last year and a half, it's really started to take off. So not just using 3D printed patterns to then cast silicone, but to print silicone directly. And silicone, of course, has great applications in the medical space. It's a very medical-friendly, biocompatible friendly material to do all sorts of things. The other great, really interesting thing that we're seeing in medical is the integration of 3D printing with 3D printing electronics and sensors for active devices. There was something called the boom cast that was made by Fathom for Mike North, who a little bit of an adventure, had a show about 10 years ago, and they built in speakers that use sound waves to help us heal quicker. Isn't that wild? So 3D printed this cast with electronics and everything in it. And if you think about our population and, not just the aging, but environmental factors and more chronic illnesses which require more sensor and monitoring. So the more you can make it smaller, embed the electronics, customize it, make it patient specific, the better it is for the patient care and the patient experience.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that.
So as it, kind of, we're always looking to find those sweet spots where additive, is the right solution. It's not always the right solution,
Right.
but there are so many different places where they are. But there's kind of this market that I would think that many of the folks who are watching today, or even walking around here at Rapid today, don't understand that. Aren't seeing those applications today.
No, and I don't. Those who are in medical, even they don't see all the applications because medical within itself is very diverse. Because you have traditional device manufacturers, you have this huge growth in the point of care, so those at the hospitals. You have the dental labs who were one of the very first to really take it on because they had been doing patient-specific things for decades, and this was just a more efficient way. And then you have in that exciting field of the biofabrication area. So that step before where you can build structures to regenerate tissues, to those working on printing cells and printing tissues. And it's all of them come together and help each other. And it's very exciting to see that. So, and then working with the physicians themselves.
Yeah, as they start to understand it and adopt it and accelerate it all ultimately. So, that's all fascinating. It's a space that, I admittedly became a lot more familiar with, but still am certainly not up to speed like you are on it. So I hear there's some other exciting news going on in your world. First, maybe with something coming out this Friday.
Yes. Well, I mentioned polymers and how polymer 3D printing has kind of always been there, was where the technology started and has kind of been pushed to the background, but it is still growing. It has huge potential, and we actually did a survey of engineers who work in product design and development and manufacturing to understand how it's being used. And this report will be out on Friday. It'll be free. But let me just share with you a couple of insights that we found, some of them not surprising, some of them surprising. The most surprising was that 40% of these people responded they are using polymer additive manufacturing for production. See, exactly. When you think production AM, you think metals.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But 40%. Now, is it still used in prototyping and development? Absolutely. Used for manufacturing tools? Absolutely. There were some other things that we also found that may not be so surprising, that the younger the engineer was, the more likely they were going to use additive manufacturing. The older they were, the more likely they were going to use milling or injection molding for development purposes. But we also saw a good deal of them using additive, injection molding, and milling all together at different steps in the development process. So what we're seeing is that additive is becoming less of a standalone, like here's the people who do additive, that it's getting more integrated into the overall manufacturing process, which is exciting to see.
It wildly exciting to me. I think I've told 20 people in the last couple of days. I think my dream is that the thousands of people that are participating in the conference that's going on alongside this FabTech start to understand, and we don't need them to just become additive manufacturers. We just need them to become manufacturers and to see this merge. And I think polymer has always been that. It's the easiest entry point in a
It
lot
is.
of ways. So, how do you get that community that is many X, all these conventional manufacturers starting to see that there is some opportunity, and polymer is just ultimately the easiest way to do that. So again, I keep saying this: awareness, education. These are the biggest things that folks like us, folks like your organization need to do. So, and I think it's where we're going to ultimately have the most impact. In kind of closing out, last big announcement came earlier this week.
Yes.
I guess the biggest.
The biggest announcement. We are, my team, with Debbie Holton, Maria Conrado are in the background here. We are now a company, Metrix Connect, an ASME company. Our focus is on the community, the digital aspect, combining in-person and online. And our goal is the same as my goal has always been, regardless of where I am and working with American Makes, is to help people connect, to help them find the answers, to help the community have a gathering point, connecting them with others who have the information they need, like American Makes. And so that is what we're working to do moving forward. So it's a very exciting time and giving a lot of agility to address the needs of the user community.
It's fascinating. I mean, I think as I see this community, and I keep using this same analogy, but alongside the conventional community, which just happens to be co-located with us, it's many X of what we are right now. The win for us collectively is to get these to come together. It's to get to the AM folks to understand their needs and vice versa, because the more the conventional folks are pooling, I think we're just going to be able to accelerate. But we all need a lot of help in order to get there. And I think, we're very excited to keep working with you all in this new organizational structure, but I think we very much want to continue doing that. So looking forward to what's to come.
And we're looking forward to working with American Makes and helping you to reach more people as we do as well.
Absolutely.
So
Good deal. Well, thanks.
all right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.